hand. And she turns around.
And she just turns.
They're not even looking at her baby.
And maybe
it's
Abigail
just,
has to look away.
Yeah. And then
The point is to not lull them into thinking they have to make sense
of it, yeah. This is the crucible in some way.
Right.
Because it's not.
Because it's not. I mean, it kind of is. But it's not like we're following the story. Right.
This has been a long, winding process to get to this place where we're just about to go up and start our performance of this amazing evening-length, site-specific, multidisciplinary work that is devised from the Crucible.
4 tableaus, and we've got it pressed. Devised just means that we take a source text and then we create a new performance or a new text based on that original source text.
I came to this piece through my friendship with Kate. I was immediately drawn to it because I've been actually thinking about these themes on my own.
I was deeply moved by the only person of color inside of the story. I delved into her story and the themes of fear, community, and the breaking out of that, and how those could be expressed in the body.
What's great about collaboration is that you get a wide array of ideas that you get to sift through and the best ones come out.
it's been fun because at first we started working with the text to spark our ideas and get the themes really going and solidify the ideas. The more that we worked on those, I don't know, it's just been beautiful.
And we said, let's explore, let's create a story where, or let's put in our bodies the feelings that, and they just did.
In the end, the breakthrough was kind of letting go of a clear narrative arc that brought you through a storyline and letting it be more about the themes as well as the textures and emotional response that we were hoping to create.
This is devised dance dramaturgy, which is really cool.
Yes, please. Yes, that would be great.
This one was really nice to you.
Bind for me is when you give up your will and you're a part of someone else's. It's like, oh, I should do this.
Being suppressed or not having a voice.
These rules that we place on each other in our society that absolutely has to happen, there's no way out.
Things that you are connected to, whether that is a person or an issue or an opinion or a judgment.
We show that in the ways that the body is held, particularly in one of the sections where they're walking on this grid and smashing into each other.
Tongues literally being bound and bodies being bound both together and broken apart.
There's a lot about constricting people, restricting people.
Literal binds in the piece, they're tied to someone else and they're just being dragged around.
Witchcraft. It's hard.
Burn refers to the passion and the emotionality and feelingfulness that people sometimes have around issues.
Burn for us had two meanings. It meant first light, like the light that you shed on lies and misinformation, but it also meant heat, like a destructive heat.
It can lead to burning down of the truth, burning down of understanding, burning down of hope and relationships.
There was a lot of heat and this passion in this community, condemning and of blaming. The heat gets out of control and it takes over.
One of the aspects of burn is this idea of release. We see this release in our dance party, the way that we're able to just wildly engulf the space with the flames that we carry.
We also see that with the wood and talking about burning down a city, and we will burn together.
Things are kind of just destroyed eventually. It's about destruction.
We'll burn. We will burn together. We will burn. We will burn together.
Whisper comes from the girls whispering.
The quiet lies often that are told or the gossip that is shared that can be detrimental.
How information changes person to person and how that can create deception and untruths.
And those whispers grow and grow and grow into a web of lies that leads to some horrific things.
The whisper of truth can also carry through. Tituba is almost like whispering her message throughout the piece, but nobody can hear it.
And she doesn't gather people like the rest of the transition parts do. Instead, she quietly finds ways of moving her body while whispering these stories of the performer's life.
So in our creative meetings, as we were talking about press, we were talking about this weight of suppression. It can be religious suppression, it can be personality suppression, identity suppression.
It's almost like your will is being smushed out. It's being pressed out of you.
You're pressing these expectations on each other. And this happened in the Salem community, but I think it still happens today. This pressure to live up to these expectations that are set by our society.
Thinking about weight and how people are oppressed through authority.
That weight is carried by several of our cast members with these rocks and the ways that they are pressing their bodies, not just down because of the weight of the rocks, but up and how they have to carry that weight.
In many of the spots, you'll see stones being passed and pressed into somebody or used in some way to mean the weight of things.
They physically pressed people to death in the Salem community, and it's a very intense topic, but as we talk about it and look at it, our hope is that we can make change for the better.
And is that it? Did we cover all the things? Okay, let's begin. All right, thanks for coming. Hey! What troubles you? Well, if you will have it so I will tell it.
These themes are throughout history. They keep coming back, and they're not a stranger to any person in any time. And so I really hope that the audience will acknowledge that this is part of my humanity, this is part of my human nature.
Creating open-minded audiences can help us be better citizens and people.
We can be the change of, let's not be this way, let's love each other, let's include each other, let's be open and loving and kind.
It would be wonderful if the audience walked away from this experience saying, that was different. I've never had that experience before. I loved being outside, or I felt something and I'm not sure what it is, and they just have a desire to think about it a little bit more.
I would hope that the stories would inspire us to move in the direction of a society that would never repeat these horrible events, that we could move into a future that honored each other.
Whether it's misinformation, whether it's about otherness, whether it's about power and mob mentality, something that makes them think a little more about the presence of those themes in their lives today and how to open up bigger spaces so that those themes cannot crush us or burn us or bind us or create a web of whispered lies.